And we are back with an on-location episode of the Square Table Degenerates. We're here at the Scott Wene estate, way in the Chagrin Valley. Now, don't let him fool you. This guy is a baller. Like, I looked out back, and you can look for miles and miles and see nothing but wooded areas and untouched forest and land.
That's right.
He must own 1,500 acres. It's crazy getting out. It was a wild drive out here. It was a fun time. We're definitely in the heart of Trump country. We are
deep.
Well, this is like the headquarters.
Balls deep.
Like, I think the guy for Northeast Ohio who runs the Trump campaign in this area, right down the road. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my goodness.
It's quite a scene, isn't it? He's got those big giant banners. He's got that big what is that one poster? It's got to be what? 25 by 25?
It's easily got to be. It's probably bigger than this house or this ship we're in.
Dude, I've never celebrated anything like that in my whole fucking life, dude. See, that's what.
Like, I haven't celebrated Christmas. I don't even put up that kind of Christmas decoration.
The passion behind like this old fucking racist man is just incredible, dude.
Well, we don't know for sure.
I'll play.
You said that with a straight face.
I know. I'll play the devil's advocate because I'm not voting for Trump. You guys know you guys don't know, but my audience knows my libertarian leanings.
Yes.
As we've had Chase Oliver on the show. Who the fuck's Chase Brown? The Bengals running back or something like that.
I got him on my fantasy.
Right?
Yeah, seriously.
So vote Chase Oliver, not Chase Brown for president this Tuesday. But, I deal with a lot of Trump people. I got a lot of friends that are Trumpers. I can see why they vote for him. So I'll play the devil's advocate in a lot of this stuff. And the argument is, their argument when I've heard people say it is, oh, give me Trump to say something that Trump said is racist. That's just a trick of what they do. They was like, whatever you ask a question, they ask another question, which is a good deflection strategy because I'm not going to lie. I do the same thing. What has Trump done that's so great? And then they just let them waste their time. So I'm not changing my vote anyways kind of thing. But I think Trump is kind of more of an opportunist than a racist. I don't think he's direct. I think he might think I guess if you think white people are better than black people, he probably are racist. But
what about black people, Travis? What do you think about those?
I love black.
The election is pretty good. Like when my wife is like, "Hey, did you take the trash out?" and I'm like, "Did you take the trash out?"
Yeah. Tell yourself up, honey. Oh, you ask a question.
I'm like, why am I taking the trash out?
I'm joking.
It's ridiculous. So,
totally kidding.
Oh yeah, but this is a precarious election season. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad to see it come to an end. I'm kind of excited for Tuesday.
Yeah,
we will be live Tuesday night starting at 7 as soon as the polls close in Ohio. And we'll be going all night until they declare winner. I don't give a fuck. I'll call off work. But it's gonna be a tumultuous time. I think what's gonna happen is if Trump wins, he'll say it's a fair election, and if he loses, he's gonna say there's tinkering.
Yeah. And
I've said this before. I posted this on Facebook. I know some of you out there still think the steal thing is real. Every time it's been brought up in court, it's 30, 40, 50, 60 times. Yeah. Everything's been found baseless without merit. So, I could see you voting, for the thing if you're wanting policy changes and whatnot for certain items. But if you're going to come at me with the election fraud stuff, you're going to hear deaf ears because I'm just not hearing it. I'm just not.
Yeah.
You got to prove it.
Logic prevails.
Right.
Prove it. Lack of evidence is not evidence.
Only really. I'm not going to say.
This is a tight race, though. This is the tightest race I've ever.
I didn't think it would be this tight at this deep into it, this close to the election. I really didn't think it would be still this close.
I think somebody dying and being in a new position really pushed Kamala up. Like being on that cusp of pissing yourself. That's really what you got to watch out for. I think I think if you can't you can't run our country if you can't keep your fucking bowels and pissing. And I think that's like a base. I know it sounds a little bit, I'm against old people. I love old people.
Thanks.
Dude, when you start shitting yourself, it's all okay. That's when you're.
So do you think, I got a random question for you about both candidates. All right. We won't go to Chase Oliver because I don't know his love life. I don't know his partner. I think he's single, whatever. He's a gay guy. But who do you think was last intimate with their partner? Kamala Harris with Doug Emhoff?
Kamala Harris.
Or
Kamala Harris. There's no way. No way. Dude.
Or Donald Trump and Melania.
She Melania.
Yeah, she looked at him like, oh my God.
That's a crazy ticket to you.
That's like one of those Game of Thrones marriages, Neither one really fucking wanted that,
What do you think when do you think the last time Melania and Donald were intimate?
How old is that kid?
Barron's 18 now. He's going to college.
And 9 months, and then he probably had
Do
to.
you think he just grabbed her by the pussy?
I think he just. She was artificially inseminated. That's what I would go.
Dude, I would say I'd say
I would say
9 years.
never.
Wait, after he paid off the Stormy trial, maybe was that when he figured out he was fucking that porn star?
I mean, God bless Stormy Daniels, but you got to be pretty fucking low on the life totem pole to let a 70-year-old married guy pop in you raw.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
Jesus. I mean,
Agree. Both parties are in the wrong.
Right.
But only one's the porn star, and the other.
We got a question from Captain from the UK. He's in Northern Ireland. He states, which candidate you think gives the best head to their partner? Do you think Trump's ever went down to Melania? There's no.
That's a great question.
it
the
is.
bestest head. That's
You
the
know-
most hugest head. The best.
I don't think we have the right moderators
tested.
for any presidential debates.
These are
I
questions
think
that'd be
we-
great. Imagine this being asked. Okay, up there. They're like, okay, former President Trump, rate your fucking head skills 1 to 10 on Melania. It's like, well, I never really ate out Melania.
Yes, Vice President Harris, Captain Bapton wants to know if you think you give head better than your opponent.
I mean, it's something we don't think about, but I mean, there is.
They do it.
Yeah, everybody who's sexually active pretty much gives or gets head. It's a known thing, right? I would assume that, right?
Yeah.
So like,
They
can't
take a better chance than not.
right. So it's like, but I mean, I know how married things go. So it's like, I mean, I know they're not, the hottest married couple ever to exist in the White House probably wasn't, sucking dick every night. I mean, I don't even know what the Rosalind and Jimmy Carter probably. I mean, what was the most?
No, I'd say JFK,
Let's
but
get-
maybe not with.
Not with his
Right.
main. Okay, with his sides. Well, they say the only
Or
presidents.
Clinton. Clinton, I mean, we know.
Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, that's a given right there.
I feel bad for Monica Lewinsky. She's one of the people because, like, do you remember the whole '90s? Jay Leno, all these fucking shows. All they did was call her a whore, and she's not really that bad of a person. She's a nice lady. She's funny, but I mean, she was, I guess, blowing a president. So.
Wait, you give her a pass?
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you give her a pass, but you go after Stormy? That doesn't seem fair. Is it because she's a whore?
No, it's because Trump wasn't president at the time.
That was a different era. Well, they say the only presidents from like 1900 on to not fucking have extramarital shit was Carter, and there was one other guy. I can't remember the other guy, but it's pretty much everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
power-
did
that
not
power
think
brings
Carter
wisdom, right?
would ever
Is that
do
it?
anything.
Dude, I mean, because,
Not Jimmy. Jimmy Carter, I don't think would do that.
he was a
No.
peanut farmer, man. He was,
No.
he was
But
a
you think
joke.
Obama?
He might be smoking.
There was rumors. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Obama was almost too perfect. Like, came out of nowhere, which is fine, I guess. But like,
For sure.
it's almost like, oh, we need analytics prove we need a half black, half white guy from Harvard to become president. And then just out of nowhere, this guy comes. Like, everybody's got dirt. Like, if they looked at me, they look at my background. I mean, they know the fucked up shit I do. Half the people in the chat know. I mean, you gotta do fucked up shit to make the trains run on time. And those trains are gonna fucking run on time. Under Joe Allen's governorship, those trains will run on time.
Oh, dude.
Endorse this
Awesome.
message.
Awesome. You gotta do fucked up shit if you want the trains to run on time.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if not, people are gonna get cranky. If they get cranky, they start complaining about the food. We're gonna have shit food. I mean, it's America. You've seen our food, right? Don't have good food in America. I mean, all the UK guys can tell us. I mean, we've compared the ingredients. You go look at Domino's ingredients. In the
Oh,
UK,
yeah.
it's like 4 things. In the US, it's like fucking this. They got nitroglycerides dipped with
Yeah,
nicotine.
but I
some
want
shit.
that in my pizza.
Yeah, the fucking
I paid
M&Ms,
for it.
the M&Ms there look pastel because they don't use that like heavy ass fucking dye. They actually use natural dye. So when you open up their like European, like anytime we go to Turkey, get anything over there with M&Ms, they look funky. But it's only because they don't want to poison their population.
They care
They-
about their people's health.
I don't know. I think
Huh.
is that what other countries do?
Do they not make a profit off of people's health?
No. I
in their
think I
products?
think there's a balance. I think it's not just pure greed. I think
You're interested in healthcare, I implore you to tune in tomorrow at noon Eastern. I think it's noon Eastern, when Dr. Sahil Dand is going to be on the show. And he's very counterculture. He's like very anti big pharma and shit like that. So that's going to be a great show. It's a great topic, though, because, like, dude, I mean, I love these chairs go back and forth. I constantly rock on them. Like,
we're in the plastic ones. That is an awesome chair.
you know what I do? You know what I do that people think is unethical, not unethical, but not proper? I always put my feet up on, not, I'm not going to do it here, but like, obviously, because we're smoking, but like, when I'm at work, feet on the desk. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
it.
like having my feet.
It's a power move, dude.
I remember,
It's a power move.
I remember
another.
I remember back in 1996, I was working security at the Solon Stouffer's plant. There's a Stouffer, Nestle bought them. It's right off of some, or
I know.
you know what I'm talking about, right off of 422. You see it on the freeway. And I had my feet up on it. It's just like that. And one guy fucking told the boss, "Oh, I should have my feet up on this." And when I saw that, ever since then, my feet go up on this because I don't give a fuck. Fuck these jobs. I mean, these jobs.
I'll put my feet where I want to put my feet.
Right, $5 an hour, $6 an hour.
At that point, you're just weeding out bad jobs. That's the power
Right.
move, dude.
Was it in the employee handbook? Don't
Yeah.
put your feet up on the fucking desk.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you need to talk to Nancy in HR.
Yeah, if it's just about feelings, we have a legal
I know.
department.
We asked about drinking at work. I should talk. I don't know. Fuck it, I can talk about it. People see me drinking at work, but they're like, I love drinking on lunch. They're like, well, you can drink beers on lunch, but you can't get drunk. I was like, that's a nice gray area for me. This is going to work out just fine.
What is that? mean?
Oh, dude, I work from home. I could get drunk all day, but then I'd be stuck with myself drunk at home. So
I work at home 3 days a week. I go in the office Tuesday and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. And I got the 10-hour shifts. I love 410s. I'll never go back.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'll never go back. Because like I could apply for promotions and shit, but like, why am I going to do that when I can work 410s and I get 3 days at home? And I mean, I got seniority. You know what I mean? So my seniority goes back to 06 in this position. It's like I get all the days off I want. If I want, Christmas Eve off, I'm off. You know what I mean?
And do they have any openings?
Well, the thing about my job it's with the government, but you got a lot of people come in through the call center and then work their way up. They do have openings every now and then, but it just depends on the hiring sprees, man.
I'm a veteran. I can.
You can get the veterans preference. Yeah,
I can get +5 on my app.
you got to get disabled and get +10, bro. Shit.
I know.
We got to get you disabled somehow, man. Figure out what's wrong with you. We'll figure it out.
I need to go to the Ukraine and maybe get shot by a North Korean.
Yes.
Maybe
That was wild, right? Did you hear the Russians were like, "What the fuck are we supposed to do with these guys? Like, they weren't trained. They're fucking malnourished." To be
God, have our slingshots
you
and
know
pointy sticks.
You know they got them ready to go there, right? What do you think that looked like in fucking North Korea with them being like, okay, these guys are going to leave our fucking country and see what's out there. How do we like
they
ease them
never
into
left the house, have they?
Or they just go to Russia and they're like, make sure these guys don't fucking come back alive, dude. He's like, use these guys. Like, they can't be coming
They're
back
just
to North Korea.
probably
It's all about
political
freedom.
criminals.
Yeah.
You know, people that they had.
Just open the jails and send them out. I mean,
I think they don't want to
Put a gun in their hand and say, "Here you go."
I mean, North Korea is such a weird. I mean, how we let that go is kind of funny, right? Did you ever go to South Korea when you was in the service at all? No. Like you go. I went over there for a summer camp back in 04, I think, 2 weeks. And man, it's just weird dichotomy. Like all the you can tell which way's north because all the missiles are obviously pointing north. And like,
right.
There's such a tense thing in the air. Like you feel like war's gonna break out any second, but it's like why? Like these people are so similar. Like they get defectors who come across and just get reintegrated into society and shit. And these guys would take how it is with immigrants. These would take the lower jobs, cab drivers, like that. So like all the cab drivers on base were like usually North Korean immigrants, and it's just funny. It's I don't know.
Seems a little North Koreans on base driving.
Well, these are guys who are defectors, and you know how to get integrated into shit. But it's I don't know. It's weird with Korea, man.
Dude, what they did to that fucking kid, Otto.
Yeah, he died when he came back. Remember that?
Dude, he gave him back to the vegetable.
Otto Warmbler? Yeah.
Didn't they what
dude,
did he do? He like stole a sign or something?
Like a hanging thing. Like, now, okay, listen.
A banner?
I don't know a lot. I've done some dumb shit in my life. However, if I went to fucking North Korea, I would not fuck around.
Oh,
I would not fuck
There's
around.
like one place you can't fuck around. I'm pretty sure North Korea.
Right.
Like
there's
all parts of it. Like even if you go into the bathroom, you better just piss and get.
Yeah. Dude,
you don't shake more than you need to. Get out.
Are you stealing toilet secrets?
Right.
Oh, it got me.
Now that's what a lot of people say. It's funny because like you get a lot of people who are like, "Oh, we need more police states," and then if you think technically about it, that's all the dictatorships. That's all the really left stuff. North Korea's communist. You know what I mean? That's you can't really have a communist thing without a dictatorship.
Sure.
But like I think people think that like they call Kamala, Comrade Kamala, and it's like, it's really far from the truth the way the things actually are, because like,
right, but it sounds good together.
yeah.
Well, what's interesting is when he says, using the government to go after his political rivals. I mean, you can't really get much more fascist than that, right? Like you're leaning towards that fucking route. Like, but the deflection in pushing it onto somebody else or pushing it onto the fucking left, which I'm not saying that, I don't give a fuck one way or another. I just, I think the Constitution is what we need. That being said, I don't know, dude. I just think.
That being said,
well, what a lot of people say.
let me say something else.
Well, what a lot of people say about that, what did kind of happen last time,
that thought
is that Trump will just say ridiculous shit, but he doesn't really do anything. Which, I mean, the proof is kind of in the pudding. He kind of really doesn't do anything proactively. I mean, he'll try. He has these weird ideas about like Dodd-Hartley tariffs and shit that just doesn't work. I mean, it didn't work in the 30s. It's not going to work in the 20s. It's just not a good idea. You can't fix the economy with the snap of a finger. It's a process. The entire world went through shit during the lockdowns, and we were just recovering because you give people money and they got nothing to spend it on. You're going to have inflation. That's just the way it works. And they think there's this fantasy button they could hit, and jobs are going to come back. The 80s, 90s ain't coming back, people. They're gone. We got to adjust to a new automated economy. We need new forward-thinking people. Not the Cold War economy. I mean, the war pig machine will keep on turning. We'll still have our conflicts here or there, but I mean, we got to come out of something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he wants to enact or invoke a law from 1798 that will allow him to deport people. 1798.
But you know what? That's not even immigrants that are here. That's if we're at war with another country. So that was used for the Japanese internment, and that was also used for something else. Chinese. When I think maybe during the Cold War.
Anyway,
well,
he doesn't need to.
Crazy.
The thing is, he doesn't need to do anything. He'll just say some shit into existence, and then there's too many people that back up some ridiculous things that he says, and that's the worst part of it. Oh, he didn't say that. The fuck, he didn't say it. He just said it. Oh well, you can't listen to what he says, right? You got to listen to what he means. Okay, well, he meant he's going to kill these people. I mean, that's what it sounded like he meant.
Also, too, you get people who just don't realize how the government works. The government's not a business. It never will be. The government is supposed to take care of its people. A business's job is to get profits for its shareholders. Two totally different dichotomies. And you can debate the merits of Donald Trump as a businessman all you want. However many bankruptcies, nothing ever works, et cetera, et cetera. He's a grifter, fucking, oppressing people in Manhattan and Queens and Brooklyn in the 70s and 80s with his dad, et cetera, et cetera. It's all grifting, and it's all grifters, and he's the grifter of grifters. I mean, the guy doesn't pay his people. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, the guy's just not good. He's just not good. What do you want me to say? You know what I mean? Welcome to the party, Andrew.
The thing is this, too, is like some people think don't support that candidate because of his views or whatever, on the thing. But before he was a candidate, he was a shitty person.
Yeah.
Beforehand. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't like him before. Why would I support him now? He was a terrible person. It was proven before he became a candidate that he was a terrible person. And all the lawsuits and the things that he's done. I mean, you wouldn't hire that person to work in your business. No. Even if you were a small business owner, would you bring somebody?
Maybe if I got money for a Pell program,
somebody by the pussy when they come in. Jesus Christ!
You can't get jobs unless they're president.
And I don't want everybody think out there we're just going to shoot Trump on that. It's not the case.
No,
I mean,
wait till I get on to Bernie Marino.
The
North Olmsted, BMW.
The Democrats, the fact, in my opinion, the fact that the best the Democrats could put out there was Kamala Harris was kind of asinine. I mean, you got to read the room. We're in a populist era. People want more populist shit. They wanted a Bernie Sanders. They want that kind of thing. Obviously, Bernie's a little old. You can't put somebody like that out there. But there's plenty of people who could have done so much better in the role, in my opinion, than Kamala Harris. I mean, it's Kamala herself. I don't want to use, Trump's words and call her a DEI president, but there are elements of that. in my opinion. Like, I don't think she probably would have got vice president if she was a guy, kind of deal. You know what I mean? So that's up for discussion, in my opinion. I think that the media, you could watch 10 videos on why Kamala's got locked up. You can watch 10 minutes on 10 videos on why Trump got locked up, and every one of them will get you thinking like, Jesus, God, this guy's gonna win it. It's a dead heat, man. It's a dead heat. It really is.
I look for him to try and call the race 10 minutes after the first polls close. You know, he's going to say he won, and then you know, and then the rest of the results are going to come in, and it's just not going to be. You know, it's not going to be fun. You know, I'm just really not looking forward.
How did our democracy come to this?
Like, I used to just be so happy when the elections were over, but this time I'm like, oh man, it's going to suck.
You know why it happened like this, I think, in my opinion, is that people just got lazy and complacent. We all did. And they just assumed stuff was going to work. Yep. And look at the budget. I mean, we act like this partisanship thing not working together is new. I mean, it's been going on since I remember in the 90s. I mean, they would just constantly bicker over shit. They're trying to get universal health care passed in 94. They couldn't get it done. They could easily got done. Look at the mess they've created 30 years later with Big Pharma just running it all over. So I think complacency has gotten a lot of people like this. I mean, we are the biggest country in the world by far in terms of GDP and military output and just the big hammer. I mean, America is not going to be fucked with. We got 180 some countries and military bases. Other countries, they maybe have 4. You know what I mean? It's just not even close. You know, we could shoot down missiles before they even hit the shore. I mean, militarily, we're so mighty that I think a lot of people just kind of integrated that pride into their own lives and took it to, you know, think the 50s are going to come back or something. That's just not going to be the case. That was a once in a, you know, millennium kind of situation right there, the way we built Germany and Japan and everything. All the manufacturing was coming back here after World War II. So, I mean, I think it's the ultimate answer is we're still just on this Cold War economy mindset. I mean, we put people in these schools for what? What are they learning? What are these kids fucking learning? They ain't learning shit. Most of these parents are doing their homework for them. You know what I mean? They learn it. We're teaching them stuff they don't even need. You can't, everybody's out here being algebra majors and fucking scientists and shit. Who's going to sweep the fucking floors? Who's going to, you know, do the plumbing? Who's going to do electrical? They're not teaching that shit. It's because we keep thinking that, oh, more education. And that's, people get entitled when they get education. They do. Oh, I got a master's degree. I'm better than you. No, you're not. You got $85,000 in student loan debt. I don't have none. You know, that kind of shit. So I think the ultimate answer is just complacency and laziness.
Well,
you know what I mean?
This is how I look at it. The reason that, you know, we put these kids in through school and the way that we run them through metal detectors and we pat them down and they got to have clear, you know, bags is that we prepare them for prison because we're training them and educating them basically in a prison. Right? Mm-hmm. We feed them like prisoners. We hustle them in, hustle them out like prisoners. But we need prisoners because prisoners make our license plates. Dude, and they you know, put together furniture. And, you know, prisons that are run for profit, you know, need more customers. They got to have more customers.
That's insane. And I wrote a report on that. And it's something like 78% of it. 70. Yeah. And, dude, I went to school.
One of those people.
Yeah. Barely. Anyways, that being said, but this is why I got into it. Like, I realized like 76% of all office furniture is fucking produced in
prisons.
So I got deeper into it and I started looking into the fucking companies and like they're fucking publicly traded companies on slave labor in the fucking prisons. Like basically they're setting up a business, putting people in there with some bullshit fucking trumped up charges. Keeping them on a fucking minimum and being like, hey, but don't worry, you're not going to be in like fucking maximum.
They take their
They're
money.
like, but you could do this work for us for 10 cents a fucking hour.
Right. What you do is you criminalize lower and lower items, right? Mm-hmm. You pass more laws that get more people to have jail sentences, right? We want to criminalize fucking everything, right? Look, I don't know how you feel about this, but men playing in women's sports, that doesn't need to be a law. Right. There's usually if you're playing in some kind of organized sports, there's a board that should say whether or not that can happen. Yep. Why do we have to have a fucking law for that? So if they break it, you're going to bring the cops in and arrest somebody? What was that? This person threw a fucking ball into a hoop. You're fucking making furniture now. Yeah. You know, I mean, Jesus Christ.
You go from transport straight to jail and now you're making furniture.
You
But then
know,
when you come out, you got a pretty good, profession.
and all I know is this:
Good
who
idea.
fucking cares who plays in sports? Those little girls need to get their shit together to stop whining.
Well,
Be better.
my thing is, I don't really care who plays in the women's sports. I just don't like women's sports. So just let it all lapse.
Right.
You
So
know
who
what?
cares? You
It's
know
like-
what? Letting more men will make it watchable.
Well, it's like, remember back in the 50s? Well, we don't remember the 50s, but in the 1950s, they tried to integrate pools in Southern California and Los Angeles. Instead of integrating the public pools, they just close down the fucking pools. That's all you should do with women's sports. Just close it down, then we have to talk about it. But back on that prison thing,
You
did
don't
you know
like
that?
women's basketball?
Yeah, you can't. Oh, jeez. No, jeez. That's a whole nother stream, brother. But did you know that military uniforms is an act that says they have to be made in the United States? So what they do, make them in prison. Every single military uniform is made in a correctional facility.
That's insane.
That is wild.
That's why they send
Cheap
all
labor.
these people to prison,
Yeah.
to for-profit prisons who donate their money back to, politicians to write these bullshit laws. And I mean, that's how they just perpetuate that cycle.
Yeah.
Prison should never be for profit. They should
What the
always
fuck, dude?
be run by a nonprofit, not a nonprofit like
corrupt,
the
man.
Cleveland Clinic is a nonprofit, right? I mean,
Right.
yeah, okay, not like that, but really where they do try to put people back into society, not just
Right.
but
Rehabilitation and correction. Rehabilitation should be the emphasis, not correction.
Yeah.
They're treating anybody who's ever been to jail, been to a prison, seen anybody. It's just a fucking bullshit machismo system of taking regular people and turning them into super criminals. That's all they're fucking learning. Because they can't get out. What are they going to do for a job when they get
Right.
out? Landscaping or selling drugs. That's it. Or maybe a tattoo artist, some shit like that.
well,
There's
if you
three
have
jobs people
34
can do.
felonies, you could be president.
Right. 36 counts. That's what's so funny to me is that like this guy in any other fucking realm of the world would be in jail and people would be talking shit about him, but just because he gives them what they want, I guess they want him as a thing. I don't know. That's weird to think about. Fuck.
Right. It's all it's privilege. So
All right, so let's go on to some psychedelics. Now, where did you guys? For some reason, I thought you were gonna be like from an Ecuadorian kid or some shit.
I am. I'm albino.
Albino
really
Ecuadorian.
tall
Yeah.
Ecuador. He is twice the size of the
Yeah.
average.
I'm a giant
Ecuador.
in Ecuador, bro.
Yes.
They look at me and they're like, "Fuck are you?"
So
You would be too.
I know,
It's incredible.
Danny. I got a weird thing about Ecuador. So you remember you're familiar with wrestling, right? Old time wrestling,
Yeah.
WWE and stuff, WWF stuff like that. I had on the Genius Lanny Poffo back in 2020ish, I think, right? And that was the last show. He was living in St. Petersburg at the time. He moved to Ecuador right after that. 2 years later, after he moved to Ecuador, he died. I wonder why down there.
Interesting, dude.
Yeah.
Because
It was out of nowhere. Nobody ever covered it, man. Nobody ever
it
covered
could
it.
be the cartel. It depends where he's at.
Yeah, yeah, it depends on
There's
where
a
he
lot
was.
safer areas and a lot less safe areas. So like where we went, Cuenca, not dangerous. I mean, dude,
Very nice.
they barely.
place.
Yeah, the women are very conservative on the street. It's interesting, actually. I've
Yeah.
never seen.
Then where we went out to the jungle was, I mean, shit, there wasn't really anybody out there.
Yeah,
But
yeah. We're out in the middle of nowhere.
the people we did see were super nice.
All right, so did you guys just, decide, hey, let's go down to Ecuador and fucking need shrooms? Or is there like a tour company that specializes in this? What was your entry into this whole trip, into this whole world? Did you experience some life trauma? Like, what's the deal?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, dude,
you
so,
go first.
Dude, I was having a rough time with life, man. I was down, I was depressed. I've been like treatment resistant with some of the shit I've taken, and I keep going at it, and I've been doing it for years, and it just got to a point, man, where I was gonna lose my shit. Like I was in a bad spot, like a dark place. And I went to Mexico a couple of years back and met these people from Amsterdam. And they were like telling me, they're like, dude, you got to try ayahuasca. They're like, we were kind of just talking about shit. And he's like, dude, you got to get down there. So I literally got to a point where it was so bad that it was a Tuesday night, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what to do. I looked it up. I looked up ayahuasca retreats online and was gone by the next day at noon. So
Oh, geez.
I had it set up. I had transportation from Quito to the jungle, and then, dude, I winged it hard, and so I ended up down there, like it was some weird shit, man. But I just felt a calling. That's really, I was like, I didn't have anywhere else to turn. This dude told me this. I was like, you know what? Yeah, you know.
All right. So is ayahuasca, is it like a smokable thing? Is it like shrooms? Can it be any form? What's the deal with this?
The only form.
There's only one form, and it is it is the worst form.
Dude.
It is
how do you explain
absolutely.
it?
Well, here, let me just say, I'll tell you my part of it is that I had been looking at retreats previously, and I thought my wife might want to go, and so I just told her I wanted to go to Ecuador, and this is what I was going to do. I was going to go out there and do this, and she set everything up, and I was at a point where I could not function anymore because of work.
Okay.
I was like just mentally shut down. I was a terrible person. I was doing terrible things to my body and my brain. And I needed to really do something. I couldn't do anything else.
Right.
I just felt like I was at my end. And, it's just funny that Adam was actually there, like 2 days before me.
Yeah.
So he's from Westlake on the other side of the
Okay.
city.
So you guys didn't even know each other.
We didn't know each other.
Okay.
And I got there and they're like, yeah, there's another guy from Cleveland here. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And,
What are the odds?
yeah, what are the odds? And so
that's
but yeah, you fly into Quito,
Okay.
and then you spend the night at a place, and then you get up early in the morning, and it's like what, 7 hours?
Yeah, 7 hours.
It's like 7 hours. You get in a car and you drive out to the jungle out in the Amazon.
Okay.
Dude, it's beautiful.
Now, can you smoke weed on the way there? What's the policy with other drugs?
I wouldn't bring weed there. Now,
I don't know about that.
last time we went, the guy that took us up to the view,
Right.
he was like, hey, what about the dude who took us there, like, actually is trying to sell us weed.
But he knows, right? He's like, look, these guys are going to do shrooms and ayahuasca. What are the chances they want some weed too?
He was an entrepreneur.
And considering that where we go to is I guess the best equivalent I could say is an Indian reservation.
Right.
Yeah, it's huts and
You go in and it's there's electricity, there's Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yes, sometimes.
That's nice.
Sometimes there's Wi-Fi.
Third
the
world
water
Wi-Fi.
running down the river, they use that hydroelectric.
Hydroelectric. Powered by hydroelectric.
Yeah, so if the water doesn't run as much, they can lose electricity or Wi-Fi or whatever. Interesting.
But yeah, you're out in the woods. You're out in the jungle with the bugs and the fucking
the bugs
everything. Bugs weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be, but they can.
That grasshopper,
but they're not as bad as I thought they were going to be.
Dude, I saw a grasshopper with armor on it.
Yeah,
this thing was like a prehistoric looking.
You see some weird bugs out there.
They had to be like that big.
No.
It's like.
All right, so is this stuff legal out there? Or is just kind of like not looked at?
Well, on tribal land, I think there's a pass because they own that. They own that land, and it has to do with their religion.
Their culture.
And it is a huge part of their religion, the Quichua, at least the Ecuadorian, because it's the Quichua de Pastaza. So they are a tributary of the Amazon, the Pastaza River. But yeah, I don't think the government controls their land. I think they don't fuck with them. As a matter of fact, like
it's just like an Indian reservation.
Yeah,
you go on there; it's their own thing. You can do whatever you want to do.
Once you cross this river, you're in their land. Like, it's they get on this big kayak and they just take these sticks and they're strong little dudes, man. Like because they've got to push this thing across this rushing river, like pushing off rocks, and then bring people back the other way. They've got motors, but they don't use them that often.
Yeah.
All right. So the ride there was 7 hours from the airport, right? You guys stay at a hotel in Quito for a night, or just right up the airport?
Like an Airbnb.
Okay.
The you can call it a retreat, but your trip they have a person that they know that lives there.
Okay.
So you just go to their place, and it's really nice. It's super nice.
Modern.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then the ride there is how many of these roads are paved, or is it like
all of them?
They're all paved. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some better than others. Like the one trip when you go from Quito to the jungle, it's not bad. It's the freeways are kind of weird in that there are people stopped on the side of the roads and stands in the middle of the freeway. you know, in a 4-lane highway will all of a sudden have a town that you go through,
Yeah,
you know,
real fast.
real fast. For the
Oh,
speed
yeah,
limits.
snickerdoodles, bro.
Those are
These are
so- Yeah, these are snickerdoodles for those wondering. I'm gonna make some.
They are
more.
delicious.
Aren't they great, man?
Nice and soft.
I just
Oh,
made
yeah.
these earlier, bro. Just made these.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
But we went to another place when we left the jungle one time, and you had to go through the mountains, and it was terrifying at some point. I mean, absolutely. Like you can't see shit.
Oh,
You're on a road this wide.
dude,
You got buses passing you full speed.
We
There's
were-
a drop off of 400 feet. You're in the fucking
Dude,
clouds.
we're at about like 11,000, 12,000 feet up, and we went through the clouds. But this city, like, was just pure fog or clouds. Like, I think they existed in this horrible. Like, I don't know how often those clouds were there, but dude, they didn't look like. I was looking around like, holy shit, dude! What a kind of a depressing place to live in the clouds, dude.
But it
Like, everything's dark.
So, is there any
Oh, the drivers are nuts.
Ecuador? The Spanish were equator, but they're right at the equator, but they're really high up. So, like, when you guys got there, was there like any? Did you get the bends? Was there any elevation concern?
No.
no,
We
like that.
when we got the plane coming in, we'd have to walk up to our place, our Airbnb. And it was like long, not so steep. But dude, by the time I got to the stairs inside, that we had to go up another 3 floors.
Yeah, you can get out to
I was
sickness.
I was sitting there going, like trying to take breaths, dude. Like, and I've been to Colorado. I've never had a problem with
Yeah,
it.
Colorado, Denver is like what, 38,000 feet?
No,
Or 33,000.
56.
It's a mile high city, so it's
Yeah.
52,
Yeah.
5280. Yeah.
So Cuenca is like twice that.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah, they're up high.
they're up in the mountains.
Because when I was in Colorado, I went to Mount Evans and Pikes Peak,
Mhm.
and they smoked weed at both them places, and that was like 14,000 feet.
Yep.
The weed up there hits, and that's just weed. So, like, back to the ayahuasca. What is this smoke? How do you do this stuff? Is it like smokable? Is it like a shrooms? What's the deal?
We made it. We got to make it.
Okay.
So
Well,
what
we
they do is
we would buy it.
they're trying to kayak down the river to get floatwood off of like the tributary, the things in the middle that kind of catch it. They drag it back, and they get they pull leaves off of one thing. And these leaves, what they do is the MAOI inhibitor. So what it does is it slows down the absorption of the
DMT.
ayahuasca, the DMT.
Yeah.
So they put them all together, and dude, I mean, you're in the middle of the rainforest. They got this thing over this fire. These dogs, they bought dogs to protect their lands over there. So they got like pit bulls, like white ones. They're the coolest dogs. They have fleas, but they're cool, you know. They're cool from like an arm's distance. Anyways, so they around this thing, and the thing just cooks, and the smells not bad until you do your first go at it. And what it is like a brown liquid. Like, how do you explain that, dude?
Oh, here's my describe what it's like.
All right.
You ever woken up like from a killer fucking party, and you're like, oh my god, you're so hungover, like you feel like maybe a goat shit in your mouth at some point during the night, like you just got that, and then you find an ashtray filled with dirty cigarette butts and like food and sticks. That's what it is.
Okay.
Dude, it's like if you took coffee grounds,
It is.
poured it into like water, and then that consistency with some like twigs.
So this is what you drink this stuff?
Oh, you drink
Yeah.
it, dude, and you know what?
Okay.
Here's the thing.
And you can't
make a
you
face.
can't
'cause
make
it's dangerous.
faces.
But dude, you want to make a face. Like you have like, so what they recommend you do is kind of like drink and then take a breath over here so you don't have to smell it. And then you go back. So the first time isn't that bad because you don't know what you're getting into.
Now, are you sure you're not just eating shit and getting high off the methane? That's what it sounds like a little bit.
No.
Look, man, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what
I've had
it
this
is
shit
because
method
I
high
had.
before, and I know the difference.
Yeah,
I didn't have to go to Ecuador.
I could tell you maybe that is
Fall out
what
of
it
the
is.
street.
It's fucking the worst thing you'll ever eat or have in you ever.
All right.
It's like flailing your bowels.
It is the
So-
most disgusting
And
thing.
so you
ever.
put it in there, and you know for a fact that is fucking coming out. The question is, how long is it
How
gonna take,
long
and
before?
how prolonged is that shit feeling before you get this high going to like last through it, right? Like,
Right.
because dude, at some point your body's gonna expel that. the further it goes down your system, the worse off you are.
Oh,
So you
the
want to get
further
about half
down
an
the
hour.
system it goes,
Yeah,
is
the
the
more
more likely
it's
that
coming out the other
it
side.
exits a different way.
Dude, this shit lays you out. So there's no like once like
Yeah, you don't party on this.
you can
This
only
isn't-
control it up until the point that it fucking lays you out.
Right. Like when you stop being able to move.
all right. So I mean, at one point, do you do shrooms along this thing, or is
We did
No. You couldn't. I didn't. No, you couldn't do shrooms and that at the same time.
okay?
not at the same
No.
time. We did it on the same trip.
Yeah.
But we didn't do it at the like you don't do them at the same time.
Okay. So
No,
after
'cause
you're
you
drinking
can't-
this
That'd be
stuff,
fucked up.
after you're drinking this stuff, is it like a shrooms thing? Like you just eventually
No.
like you sit and start
You,
spinning? Describe the first onset and then what
So
happens to your
first,
body.
you have to kind of set the scene, right? You walk into a big hut
What's it
with
called?
a-
The Maloka,
Maloka with it's got a fire in the middle,
which is their
and there
spiritual-
are mattresses along the side, right? Probably 8 mattresses
yeah.
in total. And you have a mattress and you have a bucket and there's a blanket there, and you come in and
Oh yeah.
you take your shirt off and you sit there and they do the ceremony, and you have to bring some intention, and you go up there and you drink it, and then when you come back you sit down on your mattress and get comfortable because you're going to be there for a long time. And they say you have to wait, you have to keep it down for 30 minutes, right, before you can lay down.
Okay.
And so I had my watch there because I'm a very precise person. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, at like 27 minutes, my body exploded. And every bit of water that was in me came out of me in every pore of my body. I went from sitting there dry to instantly drenched. And I was like, holy shit. And so I laid down, and then instantly, bam, I was freezing. Could not, I mean, just shaking.
Okay.
And so I got a blanket on me, and then I closed my eyes, and then, dude, everything just was there. You just went out and you saw everything, but you weren't in a position to where you didn't feel like you were in control. That was the coolest part, is that you could ask a question, wait to see kind of what happened. And then, I had a part where I was a little confused by what I was seeing. I was like, look, let's just put a pin in that, and we're gonna come back to it. What about, I want to work on this. What should I work on? And, and then you just get fucking answers. But all of that, while you're doing that, suddenly you will be back in reality, and then you will be puking your guts up into a bucket.
Yeah.
And you go from the experience to puking in a way that it pulls your toenails back into your body. That's how fucking hard you throw up. And when you think you don't have any more throw up in you, you somehow do.
Yeah.
Your body finds a way to pull it out.
It wants this shit out of you so fucking bad.
Yeah.
I think your body just has this reaction, that's like poison. And
to
some extent, it's like alcohol.
Yeah, and you can't. So you'll be bent over your bucket.
You don't do,
but you can't like move, right? You can't function. You still can't function. You can lay back down.
Yeah.
Right. But that's it. You can get to a bucket and you can lay down, and you're going to be like that. And God forbid if you have to go to the bathroom, right? I mean, you can as soon there. So the people are still in the Maloka with you, right? They take care of you, and they play and the best part is that it's a very, I hate, I feel weird using these words, but it's a very safe space, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there are people there that have some serious trauma, that are working on things, that have issues, and some people, have accidents, and man, there's no judgment there. It's just some stuff that happened, and they take care of you. And so,
do they wipe you if you're?
Yeah, they'll take you to a shower. They take care of you, man. They do nothing, and then next day they're like, "Hey, man, are you okay? Everything's good." You got to make sure you're all right. That's all it is.
There's definitely no judgment there. Well,
maybe.
there's always some judgment,
You know, they're
but it doesn't affect how they treat you.
No.
So, it's, you know,
and they're very used to that. So when you have to go to the bathroom, if you just kind of let them know, dude, let me tell you something. That was the roughest 15 feet I've ever fucking walked in my entire life, is trying to get from that mattress to that restroom
yeah.
and be able to move. It was that difficult.
Standing
And
up,
then-
it was like a 3-part process for me.
Yeah.
I'd get to my like ass first, and then be like, and I'd have to like equal out and be like, okay, this is the new level that I'm at. And then I'd be like, all right, man. And I just have to mentally prepare myself to get myself up on my knees. Like,
And the thing is, you're conscious.
Your
you know?
balance is so fucking off.
You're not
So
at a
off.
point where you don't know what you're doing. You just can't control what your body's doing at that point. Because it, like I said, if
It's like
if you
walking
spent
in
like 6 hours on that Gravitron thing at the fair,
Right.
that sucks you up against the wall, and then they pulled you out of it, that's what it's like.
Okay.
It is just like that. And it's like that for what, 6
your
hours?
equilibrium's fucked. Like you have to rebalance everything. Like it's a slow process. Because if you just try to get up, you will fucking go right back
You
down.
can't. You just
So quite similar to
Right.
shrooms, because I do a lot of shrooms. I'm kind of buried in the couch, and like when you're on shrooms, like taking a shit. For some reason, I always got to take a shit. Right, first thing I get is shrooms. Yeah, take a giant shit, and it's rough getting to the bathroom because fucking shit's moving. So you got to balance and shit. So I'm empty on that. Like, did you now? Where did the? So how long is the whole? Is it a week, a weekend? How long is the entire thing?
It
Well, I
depends.
mean, you could do different times. I mean, I did like 7 days,
I did 10 days.
and he did 10
Okay.
days.
I
He
was there
there.
2 days before,
Yeah.
Okay, and then
making sure.
so how long do you do a dose each day? Are there certain days for ayahuasca, certain days for shrooms? How does
Yeah.
this part work?
Definitely. They the last time we went, we did ayahuasca back to back, which
I like that. It's a
uh,
lot,
It's a lot.
but you're getting
It
it
is.
all in at once.
Yeah, it is a lot because,
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
and then you can do like mushrooms or San Pedro.
Yeah.
Mushrooms
some mushrooms
were really good.
Yeah.
I had the first one. I had the first. What was that? It was 7 grams, 7 or 8
Yeah.
grams.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if you know what that looks
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but it's like a fucking baseball.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like a baseball
Where the
of
stalks are
mushrooms.
together.
I did a half when I first did them. We were going from it was in the Browns played Kansas City for the opener in 2021, and we drove a whole night from Cleveland to KC,
Oh shit.
and we were on shrooms the whole time. Fuck, that was crazy, dude.
That's
a
That's crazy.
solid go at it.
Yeah, because
But
once you
the,
get above a quarter and get into the half range, you're spinning, you're seeing shit. If you just do a little bit, you microdose or whatever. It's just like smoke weed, maybe a little bit more,
Yeah.
maybe a little more.
No, you can.
Yeah, this was not that.
Yeah.
This was
excess.
this is buckle up. right.
Yeah. That's the point.
But the real difference there is like when you do ayahuasca, like you have to have people take care of you.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
But when you do the mushrooms,
Yeah.
you go through the same ceremony, and but you're free to explore everything around you because
Right.
I mean it's such a sensory type
Oh yeah.
experience that you're around and you're like and mine was awesome. The first time doing that much was my first 2 hours were really awesome. I had 2 really bad hours.
Start sweating and shit.
When I was naked on the floor of my hut, just dude, I was okay. Like if I took my last breath right there, I was like, I'm okay with this. I mean, I don't want to say I had a come to Jesus moment, but I had a come to the universe moment where shit just kind of fell into place and I understood things, and it was fucking terrifying. So, and then after that, then I yelled at a bunch of people and asked them to bring me some shit right away. And chop. And
Yeah.
fucking,
He's getting.
then I had then it was a good time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet foot.
Fucking shrooms. Yeah, well, shrooms. Yeah, like you said, it's a very sensory thing. Like only times I've done shrooms outside of that trip to KC, and yeah, if you guys want a super chat, we'll definitely do some gummies. We've got plenty of them here. Tradition is if somebody super chats $5, we do a gummy for every $5 they super chat.
No.
But yeah, when I usually do shrooms,
dangerous.
oh yeah, it's a fun show. But dude, most of the time I do them, I'm usually in the studio, and I usually end up on the couch. You know, you can't really end up moving. You just, you know, and I got two things I know when they kicking in. I got a poster of Venice on the wall. When that water starts moving, I know the fucking shit's kicking in.
That's a good indicator, man.
And
It's like that top in Inception.
And there's my parents, when I was little, had a picture thing of me first through, you know, high school and all the different grades and shit. And I put it on the wall in the studio. And if I look at that and my heads are spinning, then I know they're kicking in.
You're all talking to each other.
Yeah, the spinning Joes, I call it.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
spinning heads and shit. But
I had a really good time. I was sending messages to people when I know that I am there,
Dude,
when
this
I
is
can't
hilarious.
send messages to people that would make any sense. And then
What did you? Dude, he was so fucked up. He sent me a picture. He sent me a picture of his hand. He goes, "Look at my feet." And dude, I about shit myself.
I was like, has anybody seen my feet? And then I sent a picture of my hand.
I was just like, oh man, we were there.
no,
Yeah, that
no,
was-
just the ayahuasca, because I found out shrooms, you get very creative, you get very funny. Like
No.
you didn't think like that in ayahuasca. Then ayahuasca is like a
Oh,
just a
No.
lay it down kind of
Dude.
thing. Okay.
No, that is
completely
a-
different monster.
Yeah.
So would you equate it to kind of like a virtual reality game where your body's paralyzed kind of thing? And then is
Kind
that
of, you're in your mind and you're visualizing your way through the universe or
Okay.
whatever it is that, you know, once you close your eyes, man, you're going there. Like you get, some people see demons, whatever it is. So you may not have a good time, but what you're going to get is what you need. It's not what you want. Like,
Right.
you know, there's people that have a bad time and fucking, they get over their shit the next day, like where they're just like, holy fuck. Like, whatever you need to correct the way you think, that's offline with fucking, you know, your own best personal self. Like, I don't know how it is, but like, ever since I fucking took it, like, the after effects are what I like, dude. Like,
Yeah.
there, it doesn't change shit. Like, that's a fucking shock to the system. Like, then you go and you talk to the doctor and you have your integration and, you know, try to parse shit out. But when you get back, like, shit starts changing in the way you think, the way you fucking
Yeah,
apply
it's,
things. And it's like automatic. You don't need to think about it. Dude, it's like this recorrection of how you perceive life and what your intentions are. Like, it's fucking weird, dude. Like,
Yeah, a lot of veterans go.
Yeah.
It really helps with like dealing with PTSD.
yeah,
There was some cancer patient that was coming in
Okay,
after
yeah.
we were after, you know, like 2 days after we were leaving or something. That was coming in for some sessions. But it really is like ayahuasca is, you know, I would tell people what I was doing and they're like, you're just going into the jungle, take some drugs. I mean, yeah, technically, but
Yeah,
it is
if you want to
like
put it
nobody is ever coming up to you and going, hey man, you want to go do some ayahuasca?
right?
You know?
You're going there with the express intent of doing this, so it's a completely
Yeah,
different world.
technically, pharmacies are pretty much drug dealers. I mean, when you think about it, like if you really want to get down into
right. I just
you know what they're trying to give you as a solution. The question is like, what's their intent? Is it really a solution, right?
yeah.
Ayahuasca it's not selling shit to you, man. There's no bias, right?
And it's all you.
Yeah.
You know, anything that you do in that state, that's you. That's what is in you. And you know, I gotta say, I have noticed a difference in myself. I've noticed the difference in the intentions that I have when I do things. And
So is it kind of like a weed on steroids experience? Let me explain what I'm
No.
talking about. No, just in terms of thought process, like when you're, because I was in the service for many years. Obviously, being in the service, you can't drink. So once I retired in 2015, I started smoking weed and shit. I was still drinking for a little bit, and I ended up quit drinking. But once I started smoking weed, you know, all the time, you know, I'm constantly high doing this and that, edibles. You just start thinking about shit different on a holistic level. Like, okay, I'm more compassionate towards this. You know, why were we locking up people for weed, etc. You start thinking about other crimes, and you go down the rabbit hole of, you know, civil asset forfeiture and all the bullshit law enforcement does. It just makes you become more compassionate. Now, does something like this, ayahuasca, or would it be like, you know, weed, ayahuasca, and then shrooms, like open up your mind in terms of what you're capable of, how your worldview, that kind of thing? Does your worldview change for the better, more compassionately after everybody does it, or is it just kind of on a personal level? What's your take on that?
It's about you. You don't. It's not about anything other than you. I mean, so you're not focusing on something else to make that change, except you're making the change internally, and that affects how you act outwardly. Like, that's the best way I can explain
Yeah.
it. Like,
when you go
You're not
in, they
changing other
tell you.
things or the way you think. You're changing you, like at a very base level.
Yeah,
Like,
they tell you when you go into your ceremony that you're supposed to have an intention, right? So what is your intention? What do you want to work on when you're in that state on the ground, right? And so that's kind of what you do with it. So like with weed, what I notice is that I'm thinking about one thing, and then like you say, you go down the rabbit hole, and the next thing you know, I'm like, holy shit, that hippo on TikTok is fucking cute, So you get to these places and you're like, holy shit. And it's like,
did I just get on
who
the
was it
list?
that had that joke, a high
Unintentional
epiphany? They had a high epiphany.
Hype.
Yeah. So it's, I get that, but this is really I could say it's like if you did a 6-month intense therapy session.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All in one day, then.
Yeah, all in about 6 hours.
It corrects your shit, man. Like
It
there's no
straightens-
other way to put it. Like it changed my fucking life. Like I've like stopped drinking. So the way I think about things, like, but it's in relation to me. So like, it wasn't about, oh, this is bad. It was like, okay, so what I'm doing here is just simply poisoning myself with alcohol. Right? Like, you think about shit like that. You're like, or vaping and smoking, like, which I vaped. I'm 8 days fucking quit. But you start thinking about this shit and you're like, dude, I'm just going to walk away from that. I mean, not that if I want to do it, I'll do it. If it brings me happiness, I'll fucking do it.
They say it's your ceremony a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And really, that's a great way to look at things. That's, it's your ceremony, man.
Yeah.
You want it. It's a very sort of libertarian way to look at things, right? That's your ceremony, right? As long as you're not fucking up me, your ceremony is fine. You can do what you need to do.
Yeah.
There's I'm not upset about anything. You want to do this, you want to do that, man, that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting people.
It's letting go.
It's letting go of a lot of things that
don't matter.
That you don't have control over anyway.
You have control over yourself. That's it.
That's really about it.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
I would say it's quite similar to me, in my opinion. I mean, it's like when you're high all the time, you just don't give a fuck. Whatever. If the bill will get paid a week late, oh well. They're not gonna charge me a late fee. It doesn't affect my credit. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But there's a medical bill for $20.
You do this, and it happens, and it continues without having to continue to do it.
Okay.
Right. And like that's a pretty good view. When we went there, that wasn't like I wasn't functioning. I wasn't really functioning as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, I had some real serious things that I was, going through. And that shit set me right.
Okay.
So same with me, dude. Like it was the last option for me.
I didn't know what else to do. I just did not know what else to do.
Yeah. Okay, so would you guys have done down this thing if, say life was maybe going a little better at the time? Or was it something that, life was just here, I did it, and I'm better because of it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I had heard about it before, and I had said no.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound like fun, right? It doesn't sound like a good time. What you're telling me is I'm going to drink something that tastes like rotted ass, and then I'm going to puke and shit myself for 6 hours, and that's fun, right? Does that sound fun? That's not fun.
What did Dr. Scott say? Rhinoceros cunt?
Yeah.
Because
rhinoceros twat.
It's twat. You're like, what does it taste like? He just a deadpan fucking face. He's like, rhinoceros twat. I just died. I was like,
yeah.
He just looked at me like, dude, that's about it. Like, you want to explain the taste of something?
In and of itself, you wonder why you did it. I mean, you're like, how would I do this? But really, when you get to the end of your rope and you don't know really what else to do, and you're looking for something to help.
Yeah.
I did my research. There are places here in the States where you can do it. But that's really not what I wanted to do. I really wanted to go where the people knew what they were doing, had been doing this
for hundreds of years, which, by the way, I brought this up. You've been doing this shit for hundreds of years. There's no way it should taste like that by now. I mean, fucking hundreds of years.
Like, how do you not make this into Jello?
How is this not a fucking dummy
How is this
by
not a
now?
fucking-
What is wrong with you?
Well, we don't have American innovation out there.
I guess.
So to be fair, I think it's just their tradition.
Yeah, if it's traditional, I mean, it sounds like everything's very
Right.
traditional.
Well,
Yeah.
I asked the first day after, they were like, you sit in a group and you have to kind of talk about your experience and stuff. And I was like, hey, look, I just got one question. I'm like, has nobody thought of a mint? Maybe put a mint by the mattress. Is there anything that we can do after I've spent my night throwing up that I could maybe get that shit out of my mouth, please?
Now, is there stuff you can't bring into the hut? Like, I mean, it sounds like you had your phone on you. I mean, is your phone kind
No,
of useless?
no.
They
You don't.
They don't care about that.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to be on your phone in the hut.
Where I don't know that you could be.
Yeah, well, that sounds like you're
Yeah.
completely paralyzed. You
Well,
can't even do it
that
anyways.
when I had my phone, that was
So you can see it.
that was
Mushrooms.
mushrooms.
Okay.
Not,
Okay.
There's no need to take anything in there because you can't do anything.
All right,
You
now,
need a bucket and some shit to wipe your mouth off with.
Oh,
And
a flashlight in case
a
you need to use the
flashlight.
bathroom.
okay, so you're doing this all. It has to be done at dark then, or at night?
There's a red. It's at night. And there's
Okay.
a red light in the middle of this Maloka, and then they've got a small fire. But this place is fucking huge. Like it's tall and it's open. So like they created this like open window effect where the things come down. And dude, it's just jungle all through there. It's fucking beautiful. Like,
Okay.
that pond. Yeah, there's this pond right behind you.
The
Coolest noises come out of there when you're.
oh my god. I mean, it's you just ayahuasca in and of itself is its own thing. Like I
Yeah.
can't really compare it because you can function. I mean, I don't know. I've never done like heroin or anything like that, but I mean, you can't function. You have to have somebody take care of you when you're on it.
Yeah.
And I use that as kind of what separates.
Yeah.
This is fun and this is crippling.
Yeah.
So,
This is for entertainment. This is for
Right.
correcting shit.
it's a different kind of experience completely
Yeah.
Okay.
Worth it.
that I wish I could do without all of that.
All the extra stuff.
Yes.
Like, would you like? Well, let me ask you this: is this something you could do once? Like shrooms. Like I don't crave shrooms. Like weed, I crave. I get up in the morning. Oh yeah, this weed sounds good. But like, oh, I wake up in the morning, I eat shrooms. I don't like that. You do shrooms when it's done, whatever. Now, if you do this stuff once, is it something 10 or 3 months from now? Oh, I need to do this again, or is it just you do it once and then fucking
No.
that's good enough?
No.
No.
I think. I mean, I went down again, but just because it was
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing.
We both
Such a
we
good-
both went back.
Yeah.
And we did it again. But it's they've said, and I agree, it is more difficult to drink it every time you
Yeah,
try to drink
absolutely.
it. And that is a fact.
Absolute fact. But every time, yes.
Like the
I
first time
struggled
was
with
actually
second
better than like the
Yeah.
fourth time. The fourth time,
Because you knew what it was.
yeah,
Like,
you
every time you knew how fucking bad it was, and then you knew it was coming. And it, dude, you could smell it when they were cooking it because they were constantly cooking it. So like it was hard sometimes to get away.
you
from
get that
smell.
bowl and
It's
you
like a
have to take a
sweet,
sip, and it's not like
Creamy, sweet.
it's not like a little bowl either. Man, they load
Yeah,
you up
oh.
like a
And
fucking
sometimes
soup
there's
bowl.
twigs at the bottom that you gotta.
yeah. God damn it,
Dude.
And then you take a little sip, and then you turn your head, and then
I almost
you
threw up
instantly
last night.
start wanting to throw up right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then you have to drink that entire bowl, or this little tiny woman looks at you
Yeah.
like,
And she's like this 90.
"Come on,
90
Buzz."
She's a
She's
old
like,
woman,
"Freak
and
up."
she's like 4 feet 8 inches,
Man,
decked out in main garb. She's their medicine woman, and she's sitting there looking at you like,
she
wait,
judges you.
yeah. She's like, got
That's
an
where the
eye for you,
only
like,
judgment is.
It's great.
yeah. And plus, everybody else is waiting to take their turn to drink it. So you're like, I went first last time, and Scott just looked at me and he saw me with that first sip. Like,
Oh, I
I
know.
was like, boom.
Oh, and then
Oh.
before that, they do this thing called rapé. Have you heard of that?
I have not. What is this?
Okay, so it's like
Yes.
tobacco powder, right?
Yeah, it's like a ground up tobacco plant powder. So
And then
it's got
they,
nicotine.
Blow it up your nose.
Yeah, and it burns. But what it's supposed to do is, they believe, and it's Brazilian as well, and then a lot in South America, this rapé, it clears your your eye, like your third eye.
Your
right?
third
like,
eye. It opens up.
okay.
It opens up
Yeah.
whatever. So.
Okay.
So they come by and they
It's
blow
strong
that up
shit.
each nostril that you do that.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that the very first night I went.
It's not.
They had this other stuff that they used, which was like old tobacco leaves or some shit,
They would take old tobacco leaves and soak
and
them
then
in
soak
water
them and
until
then
they were
squish
like,
it. And then they wanted you to take it and snort that up your nose.
Jesus, dude, I can't even think about that shit.
And so I look up there at Adam, and I see Adam do it, and he was, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I guess I got to do that now. So I get up there, and then I did it, and it was so bad. And then later the next day, Adam's like, I was like, dude, what did you think of that shit? And he was like, well, I didn't do that. He goes, I just faked that.
Yeah, I poured it. So they put it in my hand
I'm
like
like,
this, and it's done. Right?
Fucker. I'm like,
So I
you're
just
supposed
poured
to
it
tell
and
me
went-
shit.
And I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because dude, I like that shit. It was just literally water-soaked tobacco leaves in the juice. Like over time, like
Yeah. Just
Thick enough, too.
fermented. It was, and I know that we sit
they're
here
big
and
on
we
snorting
say,
shit there, dude. Like
yeah, they're big on snorting.
they really like liquids mostly, which is interesting.
They I mean, I know we make it sound like all this was terrible, but
No, it's
man,
not. Terrible.
it
It's part of
was
their culture.
it was the most
Part of their
unbelievable time that I've had. And
Yeah, I wouldn't have
it
wanted
was
to go to
literally
fancy
life changing. It was one of the best things. And if anyone is struggling, mentally, I would suggest looking into it.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
something about it.
If you've ran out of
It's,
options and you're wondering what the fuck to do next, that's it. Like,
Definitely
I mean that.
check that out.
It's life changing.
It can help you.
Yeah.
Now we get back to the mint flavored tasting ayahuasca. Now,
Yeah.
do you think that
I wish it
because
was.
you see what happens to weed once capitalism gets involved? They fucking make it taste whatever. I mean, they got weed,
Right.
chocolates, everything you think of. Me, you can taste these cookies that I made here today. These lovely tasting cookies.
Dude, you know what? Those are phenomenal. Did you actually make those?
Yeah,
That's incredible.
I go by Joey Edibles, and it's not just a clever name. It's fuck.
I mean, it is a clever
it
name,
is a very clever name. Very
Dude,
clever
those,
name.
those are like perfect.
but those are delicious.
Yeah,
Oh.
dude, like the perfect amount of butter, like that. It's dead
Yeah,
on,
right.
man.
It's
It's dead
beautiful.
You should
on.
be on, what is that cooking? What's that one?
The
Chef
British-
show or
the
something?
British-
Yeah, Bake Off or some shit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Dude, those are phenomenal.
Oh, I've
You
had many.
got skill.
Ask anybody in the chat who's had my cookies. I've shipped them around the nation. I've had many people, different areas, states, fuck even countries had them. They like them, man. It's my passion making edibles. Besides YouTube, I love YouTube and talking to people. But man, behind that, making edibles is good because it's just so. I mean, it's easy, really. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just a regular cookie mix from the fucking Walmart,
It's good.
and you make the butter and it's cake. And the thing with the edibles is that like. I got such a low price point. Like my argument is, you got nobody in town's gonna get you more fucked up for $5. There's no one cookie is $5. I mean, I got it down to a science, and go ahead. And these are fresh too. Most of by the time you get to the dispensaries, shit's probably been in a bag. They baked it 2 weeks ago, and it's been sitting there in a fucking plastic thing. It's fucking stale.
Getting
as shit.
dried out.
Right. This is fresh, so it's like the Krispy Kreme kind of concept. You know what I mean? Just get them in with the fucking taste, bro. That's how it
Dude,
is.
why don't they have Krispy Kreme weed donuts?
Right? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You watch.
Peanut butter on top.
You-
Marshmallow fluff.
The next.
Some chocolate
As long
syrup.
as we're just
Some
throwing shit out there,
Cheeto thins.
Yeah. Right among there.
Pepperoni.
Well, the next, I mean, we laugh, but like in 5-10 years, once it gets legalized federally, you're going to have, fast food spots like that with edibles. But even then, though, they tend to regulate the amount in
It'll
edibles.
be, yeah. And it'll
That's
be
why I like
just,
doing the homemade, because I could just I try to get that butter looking blacker in my soul. You know what I mean? Black, real dark green black. And the blacker, the more thing that's the fucking shit that makes the best cookies, bro.
Do you have you seen those automatic?
I have,
Oh,
but I feel like John Henry against the steel machine there. I just, I don't know. It's
You like the old school?
yeah,
way?
it's just like an art, man. You know what I mean? Because I burn the butter. Because I always put like more butter in there with the decarb than I should. Because like it really burns and infuses really good. And so like sometimes I lose a little butter, but like it really gets into there. It just makes such a good brownie or fucking whatever I'm making. You know what I mean? I can make anything butter in it. You can make edibles with.
Yeah.
I just don't do too much because it's like I'm gonna make fucking weed mac and cheese. I can only eat so much before I'm fucking high as hell, and then I got a bunch of mac and cheese that's gonna go bad. You know what I mean? So like, you really gotta have a festival or something like that, and it's hard to do edibles festivals because like everybody gets so high off the first couple bites, they just fucking fade to black, and you're like, you know what I mean? Because they're high as hell, they fall asleep.
You should
Yeah,
just
right.
have the butter and like put it on English muffins or something.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've made grilled cheese sandwiches like that. All kinds of stuff, man. Anything you can eat can be turned into edibles. It really can. And I think, and people always say, oh, wheat's coming up. We got to start growing. They always want to grow. There's no money in growing. These corporate farms, they're gonna have it down in 2 seconds. The money's in the fucking niche shit. The edibles, the stuff like that. Yeah, selling weed knowledge. That's where it's at. Not the not in the fucking growing the shit. Grow it if you want to grow it, just to have your own smoke. But like, there's no money in that.
And there's a lot of effort.
Oh, it's so much work. So much work. Trimming the plants. Dude, I get this fucking weed for $10-20 an ounce up in Michigan sometimes.
Yeah.
How am I going to justify growing this? Spend all that goddamn time. I just go up there and fucking say, here, get us some weed for this $20 bill or whatever.
And they don't give a fuck, man. They'll sell you as much as you want to buy.
I go for $500 to buy fucking.
They break it into different checks.
It's a wild west of weed up there.
It really is.
Where?
Up in Michigan. If you're anybody who's listening to this, if you're within a 12-hour drive of Michigan, go to Michigan. You can literally go. I go to the exit, the Monroe exit. It's right there.
Yeah, you got to live in Monroe.
Yeah, the place that's road right there, and they got fucking 5, 6, 7 dispensaries. I go to Herb.
I go to the fucking ghetto place. It's called Flower Bowl, and it's in Inkster. And dude, that is the best place.
I think it's there's a place called Green Door Alternative. I used to.
It's like a 1 hour motel across the place. Dude, it's the only place to go. The Flower Bowl.
1 hour.
Weed's two of them. If it's nice, she went to the wrong one.
Weed is kind of like barbecue. I will say that. Like the worse the neighborhood, the better the weed's gonna. Cheaper the weed's gonna be. That's so true. Because there's a place in Detroit that gets some fucking banging pre-rolls, and they're cheap as fuck.
Yeah,
I will love
it's cheap too, dude.
It's so cheap, dude. Like the fucking weed is just so ridiculously goddamn cheap. I don't know why anybody buys weed in Ohio.
Right,
dude. I go
They're
up there.
selling you what is it? Tenths for fucking
a tenth of an ounce for fucking $40. Yeah, that's gonna roll.
Because they have a medical card and it's right around the corner. That's why.
I go up there once.
I'm lazy.
You're encouraging them.
Yeah, thank you.
I go up to Michigan once every 6. I used to go every 2 weeks. But I go once every 5, 6 weeks or so, and I just load up.
Yeah.
Bring back a bunch of carts, a bunch of gummies. I'll fucking flip the shit. I don't give a fuck.
You guys are way over on the west side anyway. So
yeah, it'd be another half hour for you, probably, but it's not that far.
Yeah, it's a trip. I mean,
it's fun to get out of the house. I mean, most of my miles in my car are fucking all Michigan weed miles. I got like 89,000 miles in my kid.
That's how the used car salesman's like, hey, look, it's I know it's got some miles on there, but those are Michigan weed miles.
Yeah.
They don't really count.
Yeah.
So
don't worry about that.
Don't worry
Dude,
about
Michigan's an interesting state, dude. The second you go in there, you notice a big difference on how they maintain the roads. Like
they got a lot better up in Michigan to maintain the roads. They really have.
Dude, the
it.
first time I
Good
went,
things about Michigan.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. That was something I noticed. It's different. Like, dude, going in from Turkey to Bulgaria took care of the roads better. It is what it is. Like
Us Bulgarians. It's a road.
Well, back in the day, we used to go up to Windsor and Detroit and all that, and then fucking I-75 was fucking horrible. And then the second they legalized weed, they finally get some more money in that bunch, and they really maintained 75 pretty good. There's still some areas around there. If you get lost in Detroit, there's some pretty industrial areas. They haven't maintained them roads in fucking decades. You can tell.
Yeah.
But most of it's pretty good. I fuck with Michigan. Michigan's a good state.
No, it's good. They're a great state. The fucking Upper Peninsula is gorgeous.
I've never been up that far. Maybe wanted to go. It's such a drive.
Oh, Michigan's a
Fuck,
beautiful
it's a
place.
drive.
But cities are cities, man.
Right. You get cities.
It is what it is.
Right,
I just
literally.
don't know who got up there that far and was like, yeah, we'll just stop here. Let's just make a town here.
Right. Most
Now they arrived in summer.
Right.
Right, frozen. Well, there's not that many people in the UP. Fuck, probably what, less than 300,000, if that.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot. It's pretty.
That's 300,000 more than I would
Because I want to
expect.
go camping up there.
We don't camp with the scouts. It's for the primitive camping, man. It's I gotta get loaded up. If I get loaded up on enough weed, but I tell you what, man, once you're out in the middle of nowhere and that fucking the sun goes down and you've been all doing shit all day, you're just done. It's easy for me to go sleep.
That's the way it is in Ecuador, except you would be surprised at just how fucking loud the jungle is.
Yeah, dude. Wasn't that what was throwing nuts at your?
Oh, there were monkeys out there throwing shit at the houses.
Dude, the top of it is like made of tin, right? So like anything hits it, it's loud. Like when it rains, it's hard to like talk to somebody in there when it's fucking raining.
Yeah,
It's
and the bugs, are all making noise, and then they have these fucking roosters. It's the only thing I didn't like. They have these roosters, and right around 3 o'clock in the morning, those fuckers are right beside your hut. And there's no insulation. I mean, you can look through your walls of your hut, you see the outside.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. You're taking a piss. You're looking through gaps in your
Right. There's
like, it
people
is what
walking
it
by.
is.
You're like, hey, what's up? But yeah, those fucking roosters. Oh my
dude.
God, man.
I took pictures.
So
of
loud.
little fuckers.
I took earplugs with me the last time we went to plug up so that I could fucking sleep at night.
Yeah, dude. And you can see down underneath. They'll go right under your fucking thing and just be like, "Gah!" And you're like, holy shit! Like
Under your casita.
right under you.
So the hut is raised up from the ground then? Okay.
Yeah, well, you ride by the river. I mean, if the big flood comes by, or some shit like that, it needs to be raised up. Plus it's fucking wet there everywhere.
Yeah,
rainforest.
It's not,
and it never dries
there's
out.
no cement. They took these rocks that they pulled out of the river that are kind of rounded and like made kind of paths with them, but over time, like the fucking jungle just like makes it slick. So now it's like slick rocks that you've got. Like the mud would have been, if you go down on your fucking knee, the mud's gonna
like
be
you take a shower, you would have a shower. You take a shower, you hang your towel up. Your towel never gets dry. It's wet the entire time you're there. It never gets dry.
Nothing gets dry. You have to bring enough clothes that like daily you're gonna fucking just walk away from those clothes.
That sounds like Qatar. Qatar was ridiculously hot. Like you go to they had the shower building, like they had the transient tents. It's like you have to go to take a shower, you have to walk from the transient tents to the shower house. And like you just by the time you get out of the shower and just walk back to the transient, you're sweating again. You're fucking
Yeah. There's no
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't super hot though, because the elevation, you're still so high up that it's not, sweltering hot, but goddamn, you never get dry. Everything's damp.
Dude, there's so much growth in that fucking forest. Like shit grows on shit grows on shit. Like, dude, you look at a forest like that and you're like the ground's just trying to fucking earth is trying to come up and grow out that shit.
They had those.
And there's just so much.
You ever on those nature channels? They have those leaf cutter ants, right? Have you seen those?
Oh my gosh! No.
No, they walk like
It's
forever.
long
They
lines.
go up these trees and then they cut big chunks of leaf off of them,
specific
and then they come back down and then they go back over to their hut, and you see them everywhere, right? Like this big trail of leaves going across. And
it's
and I just kept
green
thinking,
leaves in a
why
line.
don't they make their home next to that fucking tree?
Yeah.
Why do they gotta walk a mile? I mean, everybody's saying how smart they are, but Jesus Christ, man.
If they're
Put your
smart,
home
they-
next to the tree.
They'd stay off those fucking rocks, man. Dude, you got to watch where you're walking there. You can crush anything. Like, there's just so much life in
And
that.
spiders, webs
Oh,
right
dude.
across the paths
Yeah.
constantly.
Dude, I'm 6'3", so this fucker had me go.
I would
before.
make him walk first.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I got some of the nastiest spiders in my shower, dude. These two had made it. It was, I don't even want to talk about it, dude.
Now are you an arachnophobist?
You know what? I'm not till they get really big. Not till they're like jungle size.
See, I love spiders because I think they take
they're
care of.
cool as fuck.
Dude, they're really cool. Like that fly, I hate flies. I would go out there and kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if there was a giant spider walking around there, I'd be like, okay. But I mean, if it was poison, it's a different
I
story.
wouldn't kill a spider. Like
I, when the family is like, oh, there's a spider, I'm scared. I'm like, I'm gonna relocate the spider. I'm not gonna kill it.
Right.
Yeah, if I don't like something, it doesn't mean I want to kill it.
Yeah. So,
Let's get
but
it
here's the
out.
thing: when you're out there in the jungle
Trap it,
and
trap it.
you have to follow like a special diet, you're really not eating a lot. You've thrown up everything in your body for 2 nights straight. There's nothing in you. You are exhausted because you really haven't slept too much afterwards.
You don't sleep a lot.
And you don't eat. You're just eating what? What did we eat? I mean, one day we got some eggs.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, it's
we
like
had some avocado, lots of fruit.
lots of fruit. Those
Not
kind
even
of things.
GMO fruit. They're
Well,
fucking
stuff to
great
keep you
at
hydrated. Okay.
Yeah, these aren't. There's no chicken sandwiches, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And you're not supposed to eat meat.
Yeah,
You're supposed to do all this stuff.
which makes a lot of sense because when you're puking, right, it's much easier to puke up some scrambled eggs than it is a fucking hoagie.
A lot of vegetables and sauces. It was good.
But I mean, I got out of the
Cheese,
shower.
drink.
I got out of that shower one day and I looked, and on the light switch that was right next to me, I mean, it was a giant fucking spider. And I was just, I was like, all right, buddy, you take care of yourself here. I got to get out of here. And then And the only thing that bothered me is after I got done drying my hair and I looked back over, it was gone. And then I was like,
where the fuck is it?
like I was okay if I knew where it was.
It's like in your right now.
Yeah, but not seeing where it was nerve wracking.
Dude, they're huge. They're not normal spiders out there.
Yeah.
Did you see any snakes or anything? Well, do they give you a brief of wildlife briefing like these things are venomous or just kind of whatever?
No.
Not.
Okay.
No, they're not. They don't. Good luck to you. Like they don't. Dude. They just figure you better figure your shit out and be careful.
You know where you are, right? I mean, you're in the jungle.
They assume you like.
And
they're not babysitters, man. We didn't go to like a nice. There's no spas or baths where we.
Nobody.
Goddamn tribe, bro. Like there was nobody coddling us. Like I found it and I saw it and it was the raw shit. They didn't even have pictures of where you were gonna sleep. I was like, this is where I'm going.
Oh, so you just is it like a cot? Is there a mattress kind of thing? I mean, is it?
Yeah, there's like a mattress.
Yeah, you got like a mattress.
Yeah,
It's like a rubber mattress. I mean, what if you puke on the mattress? Is the mattress fucked or? You're probably gonna. I mean, it sounds like you're gonna end up puking or shitting on something. So I mean,
no,
you're just sitting there.
Well, probably the ones in the. Thanks for bringing that up and making me think about that now. But I'm sure the ones in the Maloka have been shit on numerous times, right?
You should get your shit out by then. I don't think when you go back to the sometimes I went back and I'm so wired I just stayed up till the next I didn't go to fucking bed because your mind, the stuff you go through, at some point you have to process it, dude. And it just it keeps you up.
You gotta process.
You can be tired as fuck, not eating any protein, haven't slept shit and just be like, okay, I gotta process this shit. It's humbling, man.
Okay, so when is your do you guys have another trip scheduled, or are you still thinking about it, or is this kind of just something you just do in the spur of the moment? Is it cost prohibitive? I mean, this is like a.
Actually, no, man. Ecuador is nice. We went, and after we went out to the jungle, we went to another city called Cuenca, but all of Ecuador, they use the American dollar, and shit is cheap.
Yeah,
I mean, everything is real inexpensive. We stayed in a really nice Airbnb for next to nothing.
Dude, those big glass Cokes for 25 cents.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the bottle was worth money.
I mean, it is
for the bottle
really inexpensive. You go out to eat, and if you spend $5, you can get a real nice meal. I mean, we went to this one restaurant that was run by Americans every morning for breakfast. Dude, you wouldn't think, hey, you know where I could get some good biscuits and gravy? Ecuador.
Yeah.
Right? But guess what?
Dude,
this place had some badass biscuits and gravy you could get in Ecuador.
Ecuador's not cost prohibitive.
Not
getting there
cost
is expensive. I think the total it costs, you're going to be around $1,700 to $1,800, right?
Yeah,
approximately.
Probably. But you can do a lot for that.
Yeah. No, and that includes going down there for a week.
Right.
It includes airfare round trip.
Right.
That's not a short roll.
We flew back from Cuenca to Quito. We bought first class airline tickets, right? Because we're big balling. What was it, $36?
Yeah,
I got mine for $36, And I mean,
and nobody sat next to you. I was like,
I mean, you ride first
everybody's
class.
behind you, and you're like, oh man, I actually felt bad.
They're like,
you know what?
These fucking Americans.
The way I thought about it, I felt like a dick because people are looking at me. I was like, oh well, fuck yeah, okay,
yeah.
I was all excited. And I look back and it's just judging.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really a cool place, and you can always see somebody taking a dump on the side of the road.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always seems to be somebody somewhere pooping.
Yeah.
In public.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a public pooper myself. Now, how is the sanitation facilities? Is there flush toilets?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't flush toilet paper down it though.
Okay, so it's like an island toilet. So there's water dried situations. Then is what you're telling me? Is that like a hydrate? Well, I guess the forest to be, or the jungle.
No. They're pipes aren't big enough. They're not. When they were installed, they don't use pipes big enough to flush toilet paper. So if you flush any toilet paper, you can clog it up. And if you're staying in like we were staying in this condo, you could fuck it up for the whole condo or the whole block. And their government response time for those kind of things aren't that great.
How do you know about this guy?
Yeah, because I was there one time with a group and a girl did that and fucked up the hotel for everybody in the hotel.
Oh my goodness.
And they don't respond to it. So you could be out a week And whenever they're done working, they just leave. They're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to talk to y'all later. There is no, they don't have that culture. They come in when they come in.
It's weird with
and
the
they
culture. I
leave when they
remember
want to.
when I was in Honduras, fucking went to the mall, and they always had a little garbage can in the corner of the stall. Because like a lot of these guys don't have plumbing, so they're just used to fucking wiping their ass and throwing the thing. So like even with the mall flush toilets, which could easily take the toilet paper, they still had the cultural basket there with the stuff. Man.
That's funny. When I was younger and I worked in Madison, I was super young and I was working on a fucking I don't know what you call it, nursery, running like an international tractor. And we had a lot of people that were from Mexico there. And no matter how many times you told them that they could flush the shit, they would still like throw it behind the toilet. Like it used to fucking drive the managers just nuts.
Huh.
And because they didn't like that. I don't know why, but it used to crack me up. Like, why are they throwing
I just
stuff
think
on the
that
floor?
it's,
And that's a privileged way of looking at it, right? You've never seen
Right.
that.
Right.
We're lucky to be in a place
we solved
we don't
that,
have issue.
flushing toilet paper conundrum.
Oh, yeah, we just made the toilets nice.
Yeah.
I made sure I got
The pipe's big enough.
the biggest toilet I could get. I'm big on toilets. Well, I it is what it is, man. I'm a big guy. I got fucking,
Now, is the toilet bigger?
no, just the pipe. Just make sure you got it. This is a champion too. It's a great toilet.
It's either that or the shit knife.
You should
I
get
get it. I
them.
get it.
You should get them to sponsor the show.
I should. It takes Joey Edibles dumps. Buy the champion 2 toilet today. Yeah, I don't
I think I had the champion too. Because they advertised that you could flush like golf
balls. Yep,
Dude,
exactly.
I bought
See,
that
knows what I'm
fucking-
talking about. Adam knows what I'm talking
Who's
about.
testing that?
And dude, I put it in my house in Bay, man.
Yeah, but who's testing that? Who's taking the thing of golf balls?
I
and trying
I
to
thought
flush
about it. I thought about it because I'd be like, dude,
You're
you
like,
said
I
I
could
could.
if I would, if
Yeah.
I want to.
Well, you fucking said I could. You're gonna tell me I can't now?
Well, it's funny. I saw a History Channel special on that once. They use little. The best way I could describe it is like probably a giant condom filled with fucking stuff to simulate fecal matter, and then they dropped it all in the toilet and they would just flush it. And that was the simulated turds they had.
Simulated
They
turds.
crash test.
Someone had to do that.
Different.
They went back
Right.
into the production crew and they're like, "Hey, look, we're doing a spot.
Yeah, you're making turds too.
We're going to
Bill.
need you to make the
You don't
simulated
just shit around
turds
here,
if we
make those
could,
fucking
please."
turds. How?
Then-
How? Here's some fucking condoms. Go find some.
That's what when we were in
Fucked up,
in Ecuador. I kept thinking, the people there do take care of you, right? And like when you're throwing up, the first time like I threw up, and they give you this bucket, and you are filling that bucket up. Like you don't think that bucket's getting full, and so I laid back down, and then I had to throw up again, and I was like, oh my god, that bucket's going to be fucking full.
I'm gonna have my face.
But somebody comes around, and they take that bucket and they bring you a new bucket while you're back, out of your brain.
That's
and they
their
take
job.
care of you. That's what they
Take care
do.
of people with.
And, there's somebody that
And
wipes you up if you have an accident and takes you to the toilet if you need to go, right? And I just imagine that before the ceremonies, they're like, hey, Bob, you're on bucket again. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, can I not wipe somebody once in a while?
There's some kind
You
some
got to
kind of-
complete that 90-day training.
Now, are you guys sure you just
We gotta
weren't?
talk to Ocean guys. Make sure you're good.
Now, you guys sure you just weren't in a nursing home and they gave you some?
Yeah.
This just sounds really
They gave us-
similar to a
They
nursing
gave
home.
us some X-lax.
Not wrong. At some point, you are an invalid.
You are an invalid.
So, yeah, that's
That's very possible.
a good comparison.
Yeah, it's not far off.
Good old nurse. I hope by the time I need a
It's a
nursing
glimpse
home,
of the future.
Hey.
You're going to see how you
Yeah.
are.
Dude, if I can't get up like that, dude, yeah, you definitely need one of those things where like I fell and I can't get up. Like
the life
oh, my
alert.
God.
Yeah, that
It's
was.
such a racket. The life alert. I mean,
It wasn't.
yeah, well, you could have the Google device, fucking, or your Amazon or whatever, anything set up to, hey Alexa, call the fucking whatever, and do that.
Now you can.
But
Yeah, back then.
But
when
back
it started,
then-
it was-
and they were running a racket for years because you had to have with that life alert, you had to have a landline, and nobody has a fucking landline anymore.
No, of course.
Not
Nobody
anymore.
does. So that's why they kept it up for so long. But now, thankfully, I think some of these devices are taking over. They say they listen to us, but now
Well, there's one up there.
we got Alexa or Google or Apple.
Google.
Google, that's what I got.
Dude, I don't even care if they listen.
Right? What the fuck they can find out?
Like, dude, I'm already on this. I searched some questionable shit on the internet before, and when and you do it, you're like, oh, know, like,
right?
But you realize what it is.
Yeah,
every
like-
time.
I
did that the other day.
Cookbook. Is that still online? I was like looking it up. I'm like, oh shit.
I've been,
Now I run a VPN through like 5 cities. It's fine.
I've been cutting my dog's hair and stuff, and so when I was first looking at it, I like the one dog that I have is a Bernedoodle, so she's real, curly, fluffy hair, and so I cut her, except I didn't get near her junk there, so she kind of looked like a 70s porn star walking around from the back, and I was like, man, I should take care of that, right? And, but I didn't cut it before because I don't want to do any. I don't want to hit anything. I don't know what the fuck's going on in that dog genital area, and so I was like,
just go running in there.
So I was thinking about, you don't know.
You.
I have one of those. So I went to the computer and I was like, I should watch a video. Maybe I can watch a video on how to groom your dog's crotch. And so I typed into Google, how to shave my dog's crotch. And then I just about hit enter and I went, no, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness, that's probably best for like a group, just a Facebook group. Hey, anybody have a labradoodle?
Yeah, I'm like, how do
Shave the balls.
you shave the nether regions? I guess that's why you go to school. The rest of the dog's pretty easy to shave.
Dogs are
right?
really good. You ever clip a dog's nails? I'm always
the quick,
the guillotine
quick.
style.
because there's the thing that's like the blood vessel.
Yeah, and it's like if you get too much in there, that fucking nail does not stop bleeding.
Right.
You gotta get that quick clot. And,
That powder. Yeah.
oh my goodness, I hate it. That's why I was always so paranoid about cutting dogs' nails.
Black nails are the worst. Like,
Yeah.
you got like clear.
I
nails,
use
you
a
can
little
kinda see what
grinder
that is.
thing on it.
Oh, if you got to start when they're a puppy with that thing. If they're an older dog, that thing will fucking. I remember we had a dog smoking. We tried to the paws. You remember the commercial where they had the dog walk out the paws?
Yeah.
Funny fucking commercial, but like, then we go just start yelping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not like see if you have that. I don't even think they make that anymore, do they?
What?
The little paw, the nail trimmer. Not the clip one, but the one where you just sand them down.
Yeah.
They still make those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to use a Dremel. High-speed Dremel.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
You put up with that?
Shit was quick. My greyhounds.
Okay.
The greyhounds, man. The greyhounds are great. They didn't bother anybody. They didn't do anything. They stayed there.
They're just chill.
Yeah, they are. A lot of people think they need exercise. They don't.
They're
They lay down all day.
Literally all day. Any dog like that, shaped like Graham Whippets, all
Yeah.
those dogs. Fucking lazy couch potatoes, bro.
Exactly.
They're fast though when they run, dude.
Right?
Why
Dog
don't
trick.
why don't we start a business? I feel like we got a business idea coming up here. I lost it.
We can raise greyhounds. I think they already did that.
That's now all illegal. I don't think it's legal anywhere anymore.
Just kidding, dude.
That used to be the best part of town, right? Fucking where the dog track was.
There was a dog track here?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
All the dog. That was, I mean, back in the day, the dog track was the worst part of town typically. Like, who the fuck's betting dogs? You know what I mean?
They couldn't afford horses.
Right. We're gonna race these dogs. We're running around a track chasing a fucking rabbit. I always think of that, The Simpsons, everything. The whole time you guys been talking about the ayahuasca, I keep thinking of the Guatemalan Insanity Pepper episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be running through my head constantly.
Dude, the quote in there where he's like, they say something to Officer Quimbley, and they're like, he's like, "Don't quit your day job, whatever that is." Like, that's an old episode.
That was
Yeah.
It was early 90s. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They say he carved it himself out of a bigger spoon.
Yeah.
Like a
The,
quarterback's down his throat, so he
Right, so
just to piss him off.
more pain.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think The Simpsons is still in the air, which is wild. I haven't watched it.
I know. I haven't watched it in years.
It got really leftish, and that's a weird thing to say, but like if you see like South Park and what's it, Family Guy, like they kept the essence of it, you know what I mean? They kept the sarcasm of it. The Simpsons kind of, at least it seems like you got a little virtue signaling for left stuff, you know what I mean? Which, I mean, whatever, it's a, Ivy League produced show, but
No, they put out poo in the convenience store, dude. I mean,
yeah,
that's not really like, that's kind of
They what?
the convenience store guy is this obviously Indian guy. I mean, you can't be more cliche than that, right?
They got rid of them. Yeah, because they're gonna say you wouldn't do the voice no more. So I haven't even seen it since they've done that.
I haven't seen it since the movie.
07, geez, 15 years, 17
That's
years.
the last time I saw it.
That's a good movie though. They're driving to Alaska. It's like Alaska.
Yeah, it's
There's a
actually
poster.
yeah. The poster flies away. No, that was actually I liked the movie, but after that, I just didn't watch the
No, I mean the best is
show anymore.
The 90s Simpsons is the best. I mean, it was just so good. You're never gonna be able to replicate that.
Have either of you guys watched Solar Opposites?
I've heard about it.
I've watched a couple of episodes, but I'm not.
So the actual show itself isn't that great. But there's this background show in there about this wall that they keep. They miniaturize people with these guns and put them in there.
Yeah,
And it creates this whole new world. And like, there's a secondary show that's what exactly happens in there, and that's actually pretty fucking sweet. Like,
Okay.
I know it sounds. You got to check it out. Go through a season.
huh. No, I think that I watched yesterday because it was Halloween. So I watched this. One of my daughters told me about it. High School of the Dead. It's on Hulu, or it says anime thing.
Yeah.
It's got zombies. I'm a big fan of zombies.
Okay.
You know, so I watched that. It's a Japanese anime.
I don't get the anime at all, dude. My son loves it. We went to this movie. It was come out. It was God damn, I can't remember the name of it, but he fucking knew everything. He was trying to explain it to me. I was just like, all right, it's time for nap. I mean, because I can't
Damn these lounging chairs.
Oh my god.
It's just
It's not fair that they make parents take their kids to some of these movies
right.
that the parent would never watch.
Yeah, dude.
Well-
Yeah, I think you were telling me.
Well, I have a that's a big
Oh yeah.
pet peeve of mine though. Is some parents you could tell their parenting style by the movies they take their kids to if they don't put any thought into it. There's not movies that come out every week that are worthy of you seeing as a parent. Like I remember in the year 2011, there was a movie that came out called The Emoji Movie, and every single person who tagged themselves in there and said they watched it, I judged them. Because there was no fucking way that movie was good in any aspect. Fuck right out of here.
The emoji.
That's
movie.
lazy parenting. And every movie that's come out since Emoji Movie is
lazy.
dog shit, right? Fucking Emoji Movie. You can't fucking take a meme and make a fucking movie out of it. Like, what even is there? I mean, how absolutely gay is that? Fucking, for lack of a better word. Like, fuck. And people wonder why we don't want to go to Hollywood. Well, maybe because you produced the Emoji Movie.
So you didn't like it.
I didn't watch it. I would never do it. No way.
I was just wondering what you think about it.
Fuck the Emoji Movie.
It'd be funny if you watched it and you're like, holy shit, that's really kind of deep.
That's awesome.
Wow, this movie's really deep on many levels.
Yeah, I learned so much.
I never knew that's where the shit emoji came from.
Capitalism. Shit.
Somebody said that was the ice cream swirl. I don't think that's the case.
Right.
That's definitely
It's a
shit.
poo emoji.
That's a poo.
Definitely crap. What emoji? Do you remember when they removed the revolver emoji and replaced it with the squirt gun? They really pissed me off for no reason. They really need to bring that revolver back. Because nothing was more, I mean, because you know how it is. Sometimes we joke casually, I'd rather blow my brains out than do this. There was nothing cooler than the revolver next to the exploding head emoji. Now it's just a fucking squirt on it. It's like you can't get your point across with this.
You don't want to get your head squirted on.
No.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
That's what you're into, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, so are you still doing any kind of stand-up at all, or what's your deal?
You know what? Like, kind of goes in with the entire ayahuasca thing is that after this past year or so, I have just not been able to. And really looking to get back more out there. Probably after the first part of the year. But yeah, looking to do more. I'm going to be actually doing a show with Dan Brown in the Upper Peninsula at the end of February.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I know.
Is that Super Bowl Sunday?
I hope
Make sure it's not. Super Bowl Sunday is the
Don't say it's
10th.
the 23rd.
Oh, that's after the Super Bowl.
Oh,
You're
okay.
good.
So yeah, this is like the end of the month.
You be able to get up there, though? It's going to be snowing and shit.
I was going to say, which is a great time to go to the Upper Peninsula at the end of February.
You can take your shit. Right. You're
You
like,
got your jacked up mini over there.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're taking my car. We're taking his car. So
Okay.
so that's good. So be
they
sure.
don't have weed highway miles. They have Michigan weed miles on it.
Well, dude, it's funny because if you ever go to Michigan to get weed and you're taking the turnpike, 80, 90, and you get to the spot where it splits off, the The one part says 420. Oh, it's Ohio Route 420.
Yeah.
And the other
Of
part,
course it is.
but that's not the way you go to get weed, though. You go the other way
Damn.
to get the weed.
I think it's at that toll. If you look to the right, they keep like this fucking like gray stone goose out there, and they've like put shit on it, like little like coats and shit. I was high when I was there, but I looked over and I was like, what the fuck is this? That area is interesting. That's an interesting part of the world right there.
The whole Maui Basin there is pretty wild. I like it.
There's something going on there.
Well, I like the bridge when you were driving past Toledo.
It's cool.
That bridge, that one telescope looking bridge thing, it looks like Air Force Academy kind of.
They got nice trees.
It's fucking nice, man. Well, I used to be a cheapo. I used to be a cheapo and just take Route 2.
Trees are fucking unbelievable, man.
I used to take Route 2 the whole way.
Have you seen their trees?
You just get flooded. If you take Route 2 up by the fucking campgrounds, all that shit gets flooded all the time. You could have to go around it. It was ridiculous. All right, boys. I think we're going to sit around and smoke some weed off camera because I can see the camera's getting ready to die. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, man. Don't forget tomorrow at noon Eastern. I'd like to thank Adam and Scott. Awesome time. Scott welcomed me to his home. That's great. Tomorrow at noon, Dr. Sunil Dan's going to be on. Don't miss that episode. It's going to be great because he's a medical doctor, anti-establishment type. So we're going to ask him some questions. Get you fuckers healthy and rock with it. And then on November 23rd, don't forget Bob Forto is going to be on, the dog musher. Really nice guy, too, as well. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.